This is Making Futures, helping individuals discover their passion and fulfill their potential.
Today I'm speaking with John Pritchett, Project Specialist with the Career Development Services Department of Waukesha County Technical College. And we're speaking about how to help your son or daughter make the college decision. John, parents walk a fine line when they're helping their children to make the college decision. How can they give advice and guidance without going too far?
Well, parents, I think, have a kind of a natural interest, of course, in their sons and daughters' career decision-making. In fact, surveys have been done of high school graduates here locally and across the state, and parents are always indicated as having had the greatest influence for the majority of high school graduates on their career decision-making and their college plans. And it really is only natural because parents, next to our sons and daughters, we have the most at stake in them hopefully making the best decision they can when they make that choice about their plans beyond high school. And one of the things that when I work with parents and students is to acknowledge that and, realize that being a helicopter parent is not all bad, that parents can go overboard, of course, if they really are interjecting or they're almost forcing their sons and daughters to follow plans that they want their sons and daughters to take rather than supporting their sons and daughters in their fields that they have an interest in. We want our children to be happy, healthy, safe, successful. And when I talk to parents about that at successful, actually when I'm working with parents and students, I will ask both to identify what words come to mind when they think of success in a career. And most of the time, the parents will, and the students will talk about job satisfaction, maybe making a certain level of income, job security. Those are some of the types of things that they talk about, but they don't always say that I think that my son or daughter needs to get a four-year college degree in order to be successful. But oftentimes that's kind of an underlying idea I think that a lot of parents have, and so trying to present them with information that may help them consider other options for their son or daughter or to realize that other options are okay, I think is important.
Right, and also each child is an individual, wouldn't you say? You have to approach each child as an individual.
Absolutely. I think parents have a pretty good idea oftentimes of the skills, the strengths, and the abilities of their son or daughter, so they oftentimes are the best person to provide suggestions for their son or daughter. But I think it's important that it's more in a support role rather than telling their son or daughter what they need to do, because we know that students, there's actually a survey that comes out of UCLA every year of college freshmen, and they're always asked about the reasons noted as very important in deciding to go to college. Of those students, ability to get a better job, to learn about things of interest, training for a specific career, or some of the ones that are at the top of that list, or to be able to make more money, to become a more cultured person. But there are some other reasons that students sometimes indicate, and almost half indicated that parents wanted me to go as very important in deciding to go to college. Also, some indicated that they wanted to get away from home. They couldn't find a job or there was nothing better to do. Well, we know that if those are the main reasons why somebody chooses to go to college, chances are that they are going to be part of that group that does not graduate. So they're going to lack their own motivation to be there. One of the other things that I share with parents and students, though, is a letter written by Leanne Bernier-Clark to parents in looking at a career as being what we do to make a life, not just earn a living, and that there's far more involved in a person's career than just a series of job titles on a resume. And she actually provides some questions that I think are really helpful for the parents and students to discuss as they're making those career decisions. Things like, what kind of family and social life would you like to have? How important are leisure activities? Would this career field compromise or support your spiritual values? And how much education are you willing to invest time and energy and resources in? So these are really, I think, helpful for the parents and students to have these discussions before the student makes the decision. And the final suggestion in this article, I think, is really important. She said that modeling a balanced lifestyle has an even stronger positive impact for the parents to model that for their sons and daughters.
You mentioned earlier helicopter parents. These are parents who become too involved. They hover too much.
Right.
So what would you say parents should be involved with, and what should they stay out of?
Certainly providing ideas and support for their sons and daughters is really helpful. They also can help the students with exploring by maybe they know people who are working in fields that their son or daughter is considering or would know how to get a hold of somebody to help them with setting up informational interviews and maybe job shadowing experiences to find out if that field really or occupation is something that the student really has an interest in.
Are there any other tips that you can give to parents in this situation?
I think parents, once they've provided the support, they should try and let their sons and daughters deal with things like class scheduling, dealing with instructors, and once the students have completed the program, in their job search, I believe it's important that parents stay out of contacting employers for their son and daughters, for whether it's for internships or co-op experiences or for the job search. And that's an area I think parents need to really let their sons and daughters handle that area of their job search. When I talk to parents, I really try to stress that there is no one path to success in career or life. And a lot of times students faced with making a career decision are afraid that they're really concerned, and adults as well, that they're going to make the right or the wrong career decision. And I like to think there's a right or a left career decision. They can turn one direction or another, but whatever they choose to do when they leave high school, they can gain knowledge and skills that they can take with them the rest of their life. And they have to look at wherever they are right now as a kind of a stepping stone to the next stop in their career. One of the topics that I talk about with parents and students too is the fact that job security, basically the way it used to be defined, is an obsolete term. In the past, it really referred to a time in history when companies provided the job security, good pay, and benefits in return for a lifetime career commitment from the employees. But today, I think career security is something that we cannot depend on being provided by any employer, and that people have to really develop for themselves through a continuous process of updating skills, networking, and looking at where we are at the moment as a stepping stone to the next stop on our career journey. And so when individuals feel they have career security, it's because they feel in control of what is happening to them in the workplace. And basically, they've become the master of their career rather than its victim. So it's a whole different attitude about looking at our careers and taking advantage of opportunities. So whether a student starts out in on-the-job training, maybe they've had a summer job or an internship that has given them an opportunity to move directly into the workplace from high school, or it could be the military, or a trade school, or a technical college, or a two-year college, a community college, a four-year college, in-state, out-of-state, public or private. Those are all options for students when they leave high school, but it's not just one path that every student has to take in order to be seen as successful. We know out of every high school graduating class, if somewhere around 60% or a little more, a little above, go on to a four-year college, only 6 years down the road, only about half of that group will have graduated. So if we are thinking that four-year college degree is the identity of success, then we're setting up and looking at probably somewhere around two-thirds of every high school graduating class to be seen as not successful. I think it's a little different, idea of what defines success in a career. I think it's important that people enjoy what they're doing. They are successful in my eyes. And it's not just based on what type of education or training that they went through when they left high school.
You bring up an important point, too, that lifelong learning, and the tech colleges are just wonderful for that. People can enter back into education at any point in their career if they feel they need additional skills or an upgrade, or to bring them into the latest in their field. They can return to the tech college for that sort of thing.
And that's a good message for the parents to realize, too, is that the career planning process that their son or daughter is going through right now is something they're probably going to cycle back through at some point in time during their career or their life, because we know that the projections are that students are going to make a number of career changes during a lifetime. We hear estimates as high as 7 to 10 or 12 job changes or career changes in a lifetime, and that some of the jobs that they're going to be working in, we don't even have job titles for yet. And it's certainly something that we hear from employers is that they need people who've learned how to learn, because the jobs are going to continually change, and what a person is doing right now is probably not going to be what they'll be doing in a few years from now.
I've been speaking with John Pritchett, Project Specialist in the Career Development Services Department of Waukesha County Technical College. Thanks very much, John.
Thank you.
Making Futures is a presentation of Wisconsin's 16 technical colleges. Thanks for listening.